Elşən, mən eşidirsən sən eşən. Okey. İndi o eşidir məni görəsən kompüter həminki adam. Hə Elşən. Sən qışqırda mən səni eşidəcəm. Zala səs verməmişəm onsuzdan. Necə? Слышит? Окей. Нормально? Ты можешь компьютер задать зал, не этот. Компьютер можешь дать зал? Да, да, пока да. Чтобы у нас этого не было. Elşən, qoy adam da danışsın da.
Thomas, you can hear when we speak something, right?
Yeah, I can hear. I can't understand. You're all clear. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, all right. Excellent.
Can you test the presentation?
Отключи. Компьютер пока отключи. У нас первый он будет. То есть мы делаем, чтобы он первый выступил, потом уже переходим.
No problem.
So first of all, thank you, Microsoft, for refreshment break. And now we will have our last fifth session, Transport Industry Committed to the Future, with explore innovations introduced by the transport industry, as well as how innovative solutions for the more traditional modes of transport can help meet the customs and other border agencies' requirements. So the moderator of this session will be Mr. Jonathan, who I welcome you, and his Principal Customs Officer, Information Technology, East African Community. He is Ugandan IT specialist. His experience in management and support extends over 24 years as he has progressed from a customs officer to his current role as a Principal Customs Officer for Information Technology in the Customs Directorate at the East African Community Secretariat. So let's start our last session. Please.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, good afternoon. They have already introduced me. I'm Jonathan Sessanga. I work as a Principal Customs Officer with the East African Community. But my career, I started it in customs almost 25 years ago in Uganda Revenue Authority, where I started as a customs officer, and then I went into IT. Yeah, the last 8 years I've been working with the East African Community under the Customs Union. So the East African Community covers 6 countries, and we do work related to exchange of information to support the implementation of the Customs Union. The topic we are going to discuss here is related to transport. Innovation is in transport. You know, you cannot talk about trade facilitation and customs clearance without talking about the transport sector. So there have been a number of innovations in the transport sector related to actual carriers. You've heard about self-driven cars and trucks. Even at the container themselves, you know, they have been enhanced now to provide for electronic monitoring and tracking. So that's where now the concept of smart containers has come in. And even at the level of cargo clearance, the ports have enhanced their systems, and they have looked into stakeholders involved in the cargo clearance process. We have a panel of 4 presenters. 3 are present here with us. I'll introduce them, but there's one who is going to present via the internet, and I'll start by introducing that one. Mr. Thomas Bagge. He's the CEO of Digital Container Shipping Association. In 2019, he was appointed as Statutory Director and CEO of Digital Container Shipping Association. But prior to that, he had worked for 12 years with the Maersk forwarding company, and he has an experience of 2 decades in the transport and logistics industry. Right now, I'd like to invite Mr. Thomas Bagge to make a presentation, and then the other panelists will come on board later. Just hold on a bit.
All right. So thanks a lot for the invitation to.
Can you hear me?
We're very sorry we couldn't be here in person, but due to other obligations, it was a bit far for us to travel this year. I really hope you've had a fruitful conference so far. I know it's been a long week, but I'll share some perspectives from the ocean carriers industry, and I hope you will find them inspiring. And we certainly look very much forward to the continued collaboration between the world's customs authorities and the ocean carriers, because we do have an industry to move. Just a little bit of background around myself. I joined what we call DCSA, the Digital Container Shipping Association, as CEO in April of this year. I have prior experience from primarily Maersk Line and the Maersk organization. I've also been with a freight forwarder for a number of years, but I have 2 decades of experience, both, let's say, predominantly with shipping and transformation, but I also have 3 years of direct customer experience, so I have let's say, a very good understanding of what some of the challenges our customers are facing in our industry. In addition to my roles with Maersk and the other companies, I sit under a number of boards, primarily tech companies. And I'm originally educated in applied finance from Copenhagen Business School, supplemented with an executive MBA. Just a little bit of background about DCSA. DCSA was formed in April of this year when we received the Federal Maritime Commission's approval. We have filed with a number of regulatory bodies, but FMC was the only one where we required approval. At the time, we had 5 companies that were involved in the initial phase. We had been meeting first time in 2000, exactly 1 year earlier in April of 2018, and when we met to discuss the challenges that are faced by the container shipping industry and the challenges we have in primarily moving this industry to the level of other industries that we see, whether we say that is banking, whether we say it's travel, whether we say it's telco, whether we say it's automotive. There are many industries where the level of digitization is far beyond what we have in the container shipping industry. And we all felt that, and we all agreed that we had to do something about that. That meant that Hapag-Lloyd, ONE, MSC, CMA, CGM, and Maersk all came together to establish the forum that I now represent here today. In addition to that, I'll come a little bit back to some of the objectives of the organization, what we're trying to achieve. But I'll say that in addition to that, we were very pleasantly surprised when we continued with the communication of our association, and once we saw that there was a tremendous amount of interest, and since then we've had 4 more carriers that are joining, so the total is now 9 ocean container shipping companies that have joined, and we represent in total around 70% of the world's containerized trade. So what is the DCA trying to achieve? So first and foremost, we are representing the ocean carriers, but we realize that we are part of a much larger ecosystem of global trade, and that's also why that I'm today speaking at the WCO conference, because together we form, and with other parties of course, we form the end-to-end logistics supply chain that customers they use so frequently. We felt at the time that the DCSA objectives about digitization were not truly represented by other governing bodies. There are plenty out there, but we certainly felt that we had a space to play in the carriers because we are funded by the carriers. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to come up with the digital standards that is required from an IT perspective, but also the processes from a business perspective to move the industry forward in terms of digitization. We want to make sure that we have systems and processes that are interoperable between the different carriers. So for instance, when we contact the world or a customs authority in a given country, that the customs authorities, they feel that we communicate in a consistent manner to the customs, and we want to do that across the world. Today that's not necessarily the case because many of the IT systems that are used are different, and it requires let's say a very large amount of customization on behalf of the carriers to keep their operations going today. We believe that the digital standards will help solve that, and it will simplify the transport value chain. It will enable, most importantly, a lot of innovative technologies to come into play, especially blockchain, but also IoT and others. So what are the benefits that we will see from the DCSA? First of all, as a wider industry, it of course includes the customs authorities as well. We'll see an increasing amount of innovation. I just came from the new technologies. For instance, applying blockchain technologies, and there are several initiatives out there, we will be able to reduce fraud. We will be able to create a lot of transparency early on in the process of when cargo is exported from a country and needed to be imported in another place. Then instead of waiting for physical documents, we will be able to display the necessary permits and so on, export permits, in a blockchain environment, in a safe, let's say, private blockchain. We will also create interoperability, and that's a key thing here. And many of our customers today complain that we don't have interoperability, and that leads to a poor service for them. As an example, I can say that our IoT devices on containers, they do not communicate between the carriers. And even though the carriers do work together and vessel sharing agreements, it means, for instance, when CMA loads one of their containers on their VSA partners' ships, our customers, end customers, will not be able to see what that IoT device is communicating in terms of temperatures, shock to the cargo, and of course location. And then finally, will enable a large degree of efficiencies. I already talked about the reduced paperwork from bringing in new technologies. And for our benefit, our members, of course, there's other benefits. We together will be able to shape the future of shipping. And in the line of what we're talking about at your conference, when we talk about transportation of the future, we certainly want to make sure that it's not only ocean carriers that keep standing still. We want to be out there. We want to be as innovative as the companies that are working on automotives and making sure that's all electric, if you will. So, in short, conclusion here: DCSA, it is primarily a carrier initiative, and we've chosen to keep it that way simply because there's so much opportunity within the carriers. But because we are a carrier initiative, it does not mean that we won't reach out to the wider industry, whether it's the shippers associations, whether it's the WCO, like we're speaking to today, or any other stakeholder in our industry. We understand that we are part of an ecosystem and we have to work together to move this industry forward. So I'd like just to close off by thanking you for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I do hope that next year I can be represented in person and we can have many more of the corridor talks. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, there's a little bit of information on the screen here so you can get in touch with us. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. The line was not clear, maybe for those who are not using headphones. In summary, what I can say that the association is handling standardization and digitization of data to support interoperability of systems between the shipping and ocean players with the customs administrations and any other related stakeholder in that industry. He also mentioned that they are using blockchain concept in this regard. So thank you so much. I think I need to move very fast. Next, I'm going to, let me be a bit gender sensitive. Let me invite Madame Magda Hugo, though she's told me that it's pronounced as Magda Hugo. Now, she has 20 years experience in international trade supply chain, and right now is a service and customs executive under Global Trade Solutions. GTS is leveraging blockchain technology and championing blockchain pilot with various players. Previously, she has worked with the South Africa Customs Union and was in charge of the unique consignment reference implementation. Thank you. Welcome for Madam Magda.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you to the WCO for hosting this beautiful event, for Abidjan Customs for hosting it for us. I would like to start off with how dynamic trade is and how ever-changing it is, and also what has happened in the last 5 years around technology. It had a fantastic impact on Africa. It also transformed our transportation industry and also had unique challenges that I would like to share with you today. Our transportation is about to get technology-driven reboot. Future transport systems will certainly be connected, data-driven, and highly automated. As you are aware, Africa is home to 7 of the 10 fastest-growing economies in the world. As trade improves on the continent, transportation in Africa is gaining a spotlight with the need to easier movement of goods, services, and people across borders. China has certainly begun a large trade activity within Africa countries and made its business interest with the continent a top priority. Africa is developing smarter, greener cities for more efficient distribution of freight and consumer deliveries. Beijing is also, oh, sorry, I'm not moving my presentation. Apology. So excited to start talking, and I actually didn't forget to move on. Africa is developing smarter, greener cities and more efficient distribution of freight and consumer deliveries. Beijing is also more than willing to extend its One Belt, One Road initiative across the continent. Last year, Nairobi-Mombasa railway line in Kenya was complete, with China financed 80% of the $11.17 billion investment. The new project line reduced travel times between these countries' cities and up to 4.5 hours. Sorry. It helped also to push Kenya's proportion of freight trade up towards a 40% target. With the first transformation in transport, we're looking at autonomous vehicles. 6 key areas are considered to be poised as profound transformation. and they are automotive, shipping and logistics, insurance, government, media and data security and privacy. Sales in this industry has moved from 84 million in 2017, and it's going to grow into a 35 billion market at the end of 2022. It's going to increase its units from 334 units to 188,000 units in 2022. The trucking industry is desperate for drivers in efficient transportation systems. In Africa, we are not proposing to go totally driverless, but what we are saying to use technology to our advantage to help and support our drivers when they need to complete these long-distance hauling. It is a very unsafe environment for our drivers to stop along the road, making use of truck stops. With this technology, what it will enable is to actually just support them on the open roads, for them to actually have a proper rest. It will result in not having more than one driver in a vehicle, but maybe just the one. With our complex border processes, it will be required for them to actually complete that process, but the intern process where they can actually haul in on these open roads will then be very effective. It will improve their quality of life. With the autonomous vehicles, you can actually drive twice as fast as you are currently driving. And that will result in drivers being home way earlier than normal. It will improve their quality with their life with their families. Thank you. Thank you. They can sleep more frequently at home. But also it will have a fantastic impact on the supply chain. We can predict delivery times. We can actually communicate to our end customer what the delivery time would be based on these efficiencies that we have with the transiting times. Also, with this optimization of the timing that we use on the roads, we can actually commit to, in Africa, some of the destinations can actually be reached as quick as an air freight transaction can reach some of these destinations, which optimize the transport within these countries. Our second transformation is all around drone technology within Africa. So Africa is the largest, or is the leading, the use of drone technology. The world's first commercial drone delivery service started in the hills of, so it started in the hills of Rwanda. So literally in the middle of Rwanda, it started our first commercial flight. The company Zipline, a San Francisco-based robotic company, is delivering blood throughout Rwanda to most of the distribution centers for blood. Also, South Africa has leveraged on this technology, and also we're going to be making use of it from where there's emergency within Africa. Kenya also purchased 2 Falcon cargo drones, and these drones are used in Sudan, Tanzania, Somalia, Rwanda, connecting the European hubs where there is perishable cargo imported from east of Africa. There's exciting prospects expansion in the wider Africa region. So Kenya's aviation, they are using a 2,000 kilogram payload drone, which can travel up to 1,200 kilometers, solving a lot of technical challenges that we have within Africa. Our infrastructure in Africa is very poor. In some countries, we have road utilization of only 27%. So when it becomes like the rainy seasons, we do not have infrastructure, and we are desperate to get critical supplies within Africa delivered. The drone technology is taking care of that. So especially where we are making use of the drone technology for delivering blood. So that is definitely the difference between life and death, because these small roads, or these roads, can take you up to 2 to 3 hours, where with drone technology you're talking about 20 minutes. So literally a decision between life and death. The third transformation that we are very keen on in Africa is obviously the number plate recognition. The number plate recognition is currently a pilot in the DRC, and obviously they are making use of the technology that the back letters of the number plate is made out of hologram foil labeled authentication, which makes the counterfeiting very difficult. It is produced by Gucci and Ferrari, very top producers within our manufacturing environment, which is obviously good quality. But the backflip of this implementation was we were not aligned. We were not aligned with our counterparts, our neighboring countries, to actually piloting this project properly, which then resulted in huge border delays. This obviously is one of the best initiatives that we would like to pursue within Africa, because majority of the countries has gone the manifesting route by enabling or making the information available around the vehicle and the driver of the goods. So with this recognition, it can actually support the whole clearances process. Then bringing it back home, where I'm situated, is in South Africa. South Africa started a connectivity project between South Africa and Swaziland, Eswatini as it's known now. This project has enabled the movement between customs data. What we've been using is the GNC standard frameworks and the WCO modules with the GovCBR messages to exchange this data between countries. This has enabled the communication between the customs authorities, making the trade information available, bringing a safety aspect forward, and also just making the whole pre-clearance risk analysis a forward-thinking process and making it available. But it is going to become very critical for customs to adapt to the new technologies and also not restraining it. We need to make use of this technology to move forward in Africa trade. I want to close off with a very true saying of our late Mr. Nelson Mandela. It always seemed impossible until it's done. Bringing these components together can definitely enable trade, can definitely make the movement of products between our continents much easier by just using technology to our advantage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. You've heard what has been done in the transport sector, the drone revolution. It's an advantage to some of us who come from places which don't have proper infrastructure. But for customs, I think you need to watch out. Where do you wait for drone deliveries? So I'd like to invite the next speaker is Mr. Vladimir Zubkov. He's the Secretary General of the International Air Cargo Association. And previously, he has worked with the international organizations linking International Air, IATA, WCO, and the UN, and has led a multidisciplinary team which worked on the introduction of paperless environment in cargo transportation. He has been he previously also worked with the International Civil Aviation Organization as a Director of Air Transport Bureau and Director Planning and Global Coordination. You're welcome. I think you're going to talk about the innovations in the air transport industry. Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before the session, some of my friends were saying that the last session is the most difficult one. And I recall that the last session very often is the happiest one, because everybody is happy when it's over. So I will go through the issues which are very particular to the air cargo, the topic which has not been sufficiently fleshed out during the conference, but this is my role almost at every conference, to draw attention to something which is, I would say, it's not a poor relative, but little brother of all other issues. So the questions which I have been asked to address are: what will transport look like in the future? Challenges, economic and other constraints. What is the role of customs and other relevant government agencies? And how important is sustainability to the air cargo industry? Not necessarily in this order, but I will try to cover all of them. A couple of words about TIACA. What is on the screen is the air cargo supply chain, which begins at the shipper, then goes to the freight forwarder, to the ground handling company, airport, airlines. So all of them are members of TIACA, and in addition to this, we have some IT companies. So they started coming in. The Boeing and the Airbus, they are members of TIACA, as well as manufacturers of the cargo planes. One of our big role is to simplify processes, and as you know as well as I do, the processes are filled with the paper. So this paper comes to all the supply chain and to the customs authorities as well. And what is even more critical, the information which we exchange from the point of origin to the point of arrival is very complicatedly entangled. And this is what makes our operations very difficult. So one of our big objectives is to make it straighten and logical, and it's exactly what this conference is about, the flow of information in a well-organized way. So we are indeed working together. Now, a couple of words about how I see the role of the customs. And I would like to start with an example of the conference and exhibition which took place last week in Munich. It's called the Transport Logistics Conference, and all the modes of transport are represented. The reason I recalled it, because a major announcement was made by Amsterdam Airport and Atlanta International Airport, who started promoting cargo trade and investment between Atlanta and the Netherlands in a very specific way. They have created a logistics corridor. And this corridor is specific in the following. This is the normal way how we move the cargo between origin and destination. Cargo goes, and then after this, data or paperwork arrive. And this is what causes delays, and this is what causes sometimes misunderstandings. And the important thing is that many authorities now start demanding data to come in front. So Atlanta and Schiphol, they created a corridor where data comes first and cargo follows. So this is what makes it smooth, and this is what creates a good pattern for the other points, departure and arrival. The snapshot from the video of the team which was working on this Smart Cargo Main Port program. And one of the key statements which they made at the end is that thank you to not only Smart Cargo Main Port program, but the Dutch customs, because the Dutch customs was a major participant. And this is what is my point, that the customs is the most important partner in the air cargo industry. So now when we have established that, like Mowgli was saying in the Jungle Book, that you and I are of the same blood, so air cargo and customs are working on the same issues, I would like to examine some of the issues which are pertinent to all of us. But before I do this, I would like to say that we are in close cooperation with World Customs Organization, to which I am grateful for inviting me to this conference. And we work together on many issues, including the advanced electronic information. This is a snapshot from one edition which I received just a few days ago as an advanced version of the result of our work on the advanced electronic information. And this is all what just plugs into the work of the conference. So the issues. The whole conference was mostly about the big players, like the ocean freight, about the railways transportation. Air cargo seems to be very small. It's less than 1% of what is moved between the countries in the world. However, the benefits of the air cargo are to be popularized, and maybe not everybody realizes that the cargo like horses or Formula One cars, medication, flowers, electronic equipment, urgency supplies, all this is moved as air cargo. And while the volume of air cargo is small, the value of the air cargo is 35–40% in the global trade. And you will ask, how come 1% and 35%? It is because the most valuable cargo is moved by the air. In addition to this, we have to realize that we are dependent now more and more on transportation of the food. The problem is that not all the countries in the world are self-sufficient, and there are some countries which import up to 90% of the food. And perishables and medications are a part of what we call the cool chain. And sometimes the life of countries depends on the movement of through the cool chain. And I give you a few examples like this one, when in Kenya 31% of the European flour market is supplied by Kenyans. And this is a very high percentage of their national domestic product. They are not only supplying this, but they're bringing the pride of Kenya. Every bouquet of flowers has this message, pride of Kenya. And much in the same way, there is pride of Norway, who brings the seafood, or pride of Azerbaijan, who exports fruits. So we not only supply, but we also carry sort of a friendly message. Now, trade and political challenges. This is another issue. And many of them are in existence. It's like Brexit, US-China relationship these days, sanctions, and all this reflects on the cargo and inevitably on the relationship with the customs authorities. The next issue is border management, safety and security. And this is where I would like to single out only a couple of real issues. And the most prominent now is the counterfeit and misused lithium batteries. And what often happens, the batteries which are manufactured sort of through the black market, they have the same labels as the genuine ones. And this is where the customs and aviation people, they have to work hand in hand in order to prevent very unfortunate situations like burning phone. But it's not just burns on its own. It can burn you, or it can burn your kitchen, or it can even cause God knows, calamities. Not only in aviation, we have misinformation. I will share with you something which was shown on the Canadian television last week. Wrongful declaration and misleading information. Canada exports to the countries through certain agreements what is called waste. And it's not surprising. Sometimes waste is very valuable. A good part of the city of Manhattan is built on waste and garbage. And this is done according to the agreements. However, Canada arranged this transportation misrepresenting information, declaring it as something which can be recycled. And when it was discovered, mind you, after several years, the state of the country of Philippines, they said, take it back. And Canada has to pay more than $1 million in order to charter the ship, and more than 80 containers will be coming back to Canada with all this. And all this because of misinformation. If they had declared it properly, then it would have been accepted and used the way it was supposed to. So customs and us, we have to work hand in hand in order to stop counterfeit batteries and to stop misleading information. Another issue which we work together with other international agencies is security requirements. But one critical matter which I would like to bring to your attention is that there is multiplicity of customs and security requirements, and they are not compatible. This is the problem. And not everything is known about specific nature of these requirements. So we have to find a way how to resolve it. And it has to be a global solution. And we now, since the conference is about moving information, about moving data, we need to have a good database. And there is an example of this in Public Key Directory, which contains information about international passports from all over the world. Now, ICAO is one of our big partners and supporters, and they have just finished working on the security manual. And this is what I also would like to highlight, because when one of these days I traveled on the bus with other participants, they asked, what's this in aviation known consignor, known shipper? And I had to explain, and this is what we probably will want to work on together. ICAO has developed the concept of known consignor and regulated agent, and this is what facilitates the process. The top line, it's when the known consignor and regulated agent are involved, and then it's green line. But when the consignor is not known, then it has to go to the regulated agent, and after this it will become green line. But the third line, it's when the shipper, consignor, and the agent are not sort of certified, and this is when the cargo is to be screened. So the natural response to this is that we need to have more known consignors, more regulated agents in order to move the cargo fast. Then, so this is a two-pronged process. When the known participants participate, then it's green line, and when it's unknown, then a lot of checks and verifications. Sustainability. Very briefly, I will tell you that TIACA has started working on sustainability, and the key items here are not only environmental ones, but also new technologies, improved processes, and people, which is very important, and of course innovations. When it comes to the people, I would like to use one example with Amazon, which was recently put on the television, and I took even snapshots from there. They have fulfillment centers which are well automated to the extent that you cannot see people here. And what happens? These people are on the street, and they are blaming modernization and innovation for being out on the street. And this is a big problem, because we need to establish proper labor relationship while initiating our automation, data exchange in the modernized way. We have to find a way either to retrain people or to give them alternative jobs. Again, big question what to do with these people. Now, it was an overview, and every subject is going, if you drill down, it can be better described, but this is the objective of some other conferences. So my conclusions are the following, that what is needed for success of tomorrow's logistic market is working together. And at this point, I would like to highlight that there are not that many aviation people in this room, from airlines or airports, and this is what perhaps needs to be taken into account in the future conferences. Challenges in the air cargo, one of the main challenges, that it has a low profile. And I'm trying to sort of lift it up every time there's a possibility, as well as my colleagues who work on the board and as members. But also I would like you to take back the message that air cargo is very important, and we are your willing partners in whatever is being done. And how to raise the air freight to the next level, apply best innovative processes and technologies. It's this what conference is about. And once again, I would like to congratulate the organizers of the conference for the excellent topics, excellent speakers, and excellent listeners as well. And thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Mr. Vladimir. I think I need to move a bit faster. The last speaker is Mr. Jalal Benhayoun. He's the General Manager of PORTNET. PORTNET is the national single window for foreign trade in Morocco. And at the same time, he's also a Vice Chair of the Africa Alliance of E-Commerce. Welcome, Mr. Jalal.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very happy to be with you today, and I want to first thank the government of Azerbaijan, WCO and the customs of Azerbaijan for the invitation and the opportunity. I want to address this subject from the different perspective, the perspective of cooperation of the strategic alliance between all the stakeholders, of course, with the custom for a better trade and transportation in the future. Let me start my presentation by sharing with you a short video on what we are doing in Morocco in this subject.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Conta. Je suis un conteneur, le champion du monde de la supply chain, mais aussi le champion de toutes les formalités, qu'elles soient administratives ou non administratives. Ces formalités, je dirais même ces complications, qui commencent bien souvent avant mon entrée en scène, nécessitent pour les opérateurs de nombreuses démarches et des choix décisifs pour leur business. Avant que mon voyage soit initié, mon réceptionnaire final doit domicilier un engagement d'importation qui nécessite le recours à de nombreux acteurs publics et privés. Remplir des formulaires, déposer des dossiers avec des documents souvent redondants et faire le tour de plusieurs guichets. Quel que soit le mode de transport ou l'incoterm utilisé, à l'arrivée m'attendait encore une multitude de démarches et de contrôles, et donc d'allers-retours. Une après l'autre, chacune des entités, publiques ou privées, avec ses propres référentiels, appliquait ses règles et modes opératoires, sans se soucier de la suivante. Une complexité, une incertitude qui pénalisait l'ensemble de la communauté de la supply chain. Et pour moi, un flou et une attente sur le quai qui durent en moyenne 11 jours. les frais et les pénalités de mon immobilisation sapaient la compétitivité de mon réceptionnaire. Heureusement, en 2008, à la convergence de plusieurs visions stratégiques, le paradigme change. Pour les administrations, le citoyen et l'entreprise se situent désormais au centre de leurs préoccupations. Et le Maroc met en œuvre le guichet unique PORTNET. En associant tous les intervenants de la supply chain autour d'un seul guichet virtuel, la plateforme PORTNET œuvre sans cesse en vue de fluidifier les formalités de commerce transfrontalier en simplifiant, en harmonisant et en dématérialisant les procédures. PORTNET concourt à renforcer la transparence dans la relation client, opérateur économique et administration, à améliorer le climat des affaires, à promouvoir la bonne gouvernance. Et en 2011, PORTNET est opérationnel. Tout change. Le guichet unique national des procédures du commerce extérieur, PORTNET, donne accès via une même plateforme électronique à tous les services concernés. Importateurs, exportateurs, transitaires, consignataires, banques, administrations et autres, tous les usagers de mon écosystème peuvent interagir. Tracer mon parcours, créer ou recevoir des alertes, effectuer ou recevoir un paiement, prendre n'importe quel type de décision me concernant. Tout cela dans un environnement hautement sécurisé depuis n'importe quel point du globe, 24 heures sur 24 et 7 jours sur 7. La communauté autour de PORTNET constitue progressivement un centre d'intelligence communautaire, de ressources informationnelles et d'aide à la décision pour l'optimisation des opérations dans son écosystème. La mise en commun des données et des efforts, les actualiser en permanence, permet d'agréger les savoirs et les expériences. Elle profite à tous et en particulier à la compétitivité des PME-TPE. La dématérialisation qu'offre PORTNET répond à ses objectifs de développement durable et de préservation des ressources naturelles. Avec son objectif zéro papier, c'est plus de 800 000 arbres en équivalent papier et la consommation annuelle de carburant de 17 000 voitures qui sont économisées chaque année. Devenue une référence à l'international, PORTNET est une initiative saluée par l'OMC pour son amélioration du climat des affaires, ce qui a permis au Royaume de gagner 42 places au classement de l'indice Doing Business de la Banque mondiale. PORTNET couvre progressivement tous les points d'échange transfrontaliers du Royaume. PORTNET est ouvert à tous les importateurs et exportateurs et leur écosystème. PORTNET va au-delà des formalités administratives en œuvrant à une intégration de bout en bout de la supply chain à l'international. Conscient de l'importance que revêt l'intégration des chaînes de valeur du commerce international comme levier accélérateur du développement économique, le Maroc, à travers son guichet unique PORTNET, continue à œuvrer pour la modernisation et la fluidification des procédures de passage transfrontalier, maritime, aérien et terrestre. Dans la dynamique continue de consolidation du positionnement du Royaume en tant que hub logistique et plaque tournante du commerce dans la région, la communauté de PORTNET continue à multiplier les initiatives et les efforts au service de l'interopérabilité et de la compétitivité du commerce transfrontalier.
So I go to the presentation now. So to address the following questions that have been already addressed by the previous speakers. The previous speakers spoke a lot about all the innovations we are seeing today, and which we will see every day regarding transportations and logistics, like the big data, artificial intelligence, automated terminals, autonomous vehicle, robotics, IoT, blockchain. But one of the most innovations that we need to address too is the one related to the rise every day of collaborative platforms, as the single window port community systems and other B2B platforms like Waze, like platforms that are facilitating transportation. So the reality of this sector is that according to a study that have been done by Pricewaterhouse in 2016, only 10% of transportation and logistics company rate the maturity of their data analytics capability as advanced. And I believe that today things are not really changing, especially for countries like Morocco, under developments, and many other countries. So businesses are suffering and facing challenges related to the maturity of supply chain, maturity of data, and the maturity of the digital capabilities. And this is why we were investing in the single window platform, which is involving the economic operator at the center of its interest, and in its governance, it is involving all the stakeholders related to trade, transportation, and e-gov in general. So we have the customs, we have the transporters, banks, the other government agencies, and all the stakeholders involved in trade. We saw in the video that we have an integrated coverage of the whole supply chain, and our final objective is to integrate this whole supply chain for the importers and exporters and the economic operators, and not only to be limited on the regulatory processes. We are parts for many regional initiatives, like the one of International Port Community System Association, where we are a member related to exchanging information on track and trace, and information that are making easier the movement of goods and their clearing through the customs and the other government agencies. We are part also for another big initiative that is led by the African Alliance of E-Commerce, which is the association of single windows in Africa, including 22 countries now. And we are working on big projects with the support of the African Development Bank related to implementing a central platform, helping us to exchange documents and all the data between single windows to make easier the trade, and also give all the information needed to the trader in Africa to exchange, and even over Africa to exchange and make trade. And other many initiatives like eFITO in the United Nations related to the exchange of phytosanitary certificate, and the other one, which is not here, the project Easy Explore by the Postal Union International related to small and medium enterprises, to give him the ability to take benefit from the big networks of the postal administration, and to access the foreign markets in exports. So let me now address the impacts and the opportunities of all those new technologies that are occurring today, that are raising every day. So we have this opportunity to have access to a lot of accurate data on trade and logistics for all stakeholders from all those technologies that are available. So those huge IoT analytics and artificial intelligence and the big data capabilities can help us to address all the aspects of transport and trade, to make things easier. So we have the opportunity also to enhance the digital capabilities and the information excellence, to transform and to close the existing gaps for new business model in trade and logistics industry. So we can again make trade easier and close the gaps for the small businesses, and that are contributing on more than 60% on the GDP of countries like my country. So we can reduce costs, delays, and impact distribution model and production centers. If we based in our strategies on the good usage of those technologies. So the improvement of data quality along the supply chain process, if we are able to capture this data electronically, especially with the new technologies. So more community and collaborative platform, like as I said before, single windows, port community systems, cargo community systems, and a lot of other aggregator. In our case, we are working also on trade finance, which is a key aspect in the foreign trade, to manage all the financial transaction related to trade operation. And we have now an historical opportunity to better address the global standardization and the harmonization of all what is happening today in terms of new technologies. On the other hand, the administration especially customs administrations, need to change the paradigm today, because the paradigm of the public service is changing, is moving. It's not anymore facilitating trade, but based on what we have today, as access to new technology, we need to have the capability to have better planning, decision making, and to give those capabilities to the private sector, to the businesses, to help them every day to better take the decisions related to their trade operation, to choose the best sourcing, to choose the best destination to export, to transform all the regulatory information that are accessible everywhere to business opportunity to our businesses. So this is the new manner to see the public administration service. And the public administration needs to be today a federator of collective intelligence, and this is very important to constitute the critical mass needed, as we saw on all this session, to aggregate the experience, to have more artificial intelligence, and to take benefit from the big amounts of data that are available, as I said, to assist businesses in day-to-day decision making, and to increase the ability of collective intelligence. But we have many challenges to address to that, and I will finish my presentation with this slide, that the introduction of this new technology as autonomous vehicle and disruptive logistics solution need a big adaptation on terms of regulatory regulations and terms of legal frameworks that are existing in all the country, and the standardization effort between those countries. The second point is the cybersecurity that need to be ensured as a precondition for safe usage of those technologies like drone, automated and autonomous vehicle, and so on. The systemic risk management, which is key points, with the rise of those collaborative platforms and dependency on technology, we are seeing today many platforms that are becoming systemic and that are making possible the domino effects in case of failure of those platforms that are controlling in the same basket all the eggs, that are having all the eggs in the same basket. Though there is a big need of adapting a regulation and the standardization and oversight in those systems. We need also to address the gaps on the adoption speed. The country is not moving, the countries are not moving at the same speed. So we need to address those gaps. We have also the challenges related to the standardization, where I speak already on that, trade wars, and the technology dependency management, and finally the sudden rise and changes in requirements. We need more agility to face what is happening very quicker every day. The speed of the change is accelerating every day in terms of how we can invest sourcing the choice of the work source that become obsolete every day faster, and that is due to unpreparedness of the technology. And again, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for this very, very good organization of this event, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It appears we are running out of time, but I'm going to ask the panelists here only one question, which I think is common to all of them. When you are coming up with these innovations, you need definitely they involve multiple players. How have you overcome the challenge of lack of cooperation and the different levels of, say, automation of the processes in order to fast-track the implementation of the innovations in your areas? Let's start with you.
Thank you, Chairman. Indeed, as I already stated in the presentation, we must work together. And in our case, we have created the group of like-minded who are interested in innovations and many other issues, but now accent is on the innovations. It's IATA, it's Freight Forwarders Association, it's Global Shippers Forum and TIACA. The group is called, doesn't sound very pleasing to the ear, GACAC, but the effect of this collaboration is quite significant. We try to meet on a regular basis, and most recently it was at the Munich show last week. We also make sure that TIACA or our partners participate in the work of international organizations. WCO is our perhaps most important partner when it comes to the innovations, security, e-commerce, because we participate in the working groups of e-commerce and security. Then ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, which is also very strong on the security matters and the safety matters, like lithium batteries. So we indeed have to know all the players who are active in a particular field and share with them our interest, have common agenda, and go to the joint result. And what I missed during my presentation, and I am not going to miss it now, it's to thank the host country, Azerbaijan, for most excellent organization and hospitality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as I said in my presentation, today the collective collaboration and what I call collaborative competition, even between competitors in the private sector and between all the administration, is key to address the best usage of technologies that are raising every day in terms of data sharing, in terms of the usage of this technology that can leverage the individual efforts and the collective efforts to better conduct our internal and global strategies. And this is why this collaboration is very important, and collaboration in the way which is not intrusive to the business. This, in some cases, with the excuse of collaboration, we can just put a lot of regulatory processes that are really intrusive to the business and make things very difficult for the private sector. So the usage of technology of collaborative platforms like single windows, port community system, and all the other collaborative platform. I like the example of Waze, for example. You are using it, you are giving data in an intrusive way, you are not aware of what you are giving as exact data, but this data can help everybody to better find better roads every day to go and to go to work, to go wherever you want to go. So it's very important to have this collaboration, but in a non-intrusive way, and to put in harmony all the strategies we have for the common interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think from South Africa, I've also said that Africa in my presentation, is definitely collaboration within all government agencies, third parties, and, well, any role player in the trade facilitation space. So it is important that we actually pursue quite aggressively these interactions to actually start being benefits from this engagement. It's going slow. We need to start at home. We need to have our own government agencies collaborate, have one uniform approach, and make use of the WCO tools like the AEO agreements, to sign these mutual agreements and actually start moving forward. Maybe it can be small, but we need to start moving forward with the smallest component in terms of collaboration between countries to enable trade to flow as quick as possible. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe I will ask the audience if there's anybody who wants to ask a question, maybe one or two, before we wind up. Are you satisfied? Okay. This is a very interesting topic, and actually there are quite a number of questions that maybe would have asked you if you had time. One of the issues maybe might be on how do you prioritize stakeholders and how do you phase the implementation of such projects? Because, you know, those from IT, they know there are different approaches. You can go with everybody, or you face those who are willing and ready to go with you. Now, on that note, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to moderate this session. We have come to the end of this plenary session 5. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the presenters and the WCO. Thank you.
Thank you to our honorable speakers for this interesting session. And now I am kindly inviting everyone in the exhibition to come inside because we are going to make our conclusion of our 18th IT conference. So you will have time after this session, please, of course. After this session, you will have time for lunch, and the buses will leave at 15 to the hotel to allow you to change your clothes, and then leave the hotel at 16. Please don't forget to bring your badges. And before announcing the winners of the YC WCO competition, I would like to give you some statistic numbers. So WCO event container app was downloaded 1,267 times, and the IT TI app has been downloaded 683 times. 180 pictures have been posted and 1,099 interactions were recorded. The 3 most visited pages on the app were agenda, speaker's bio, and information about the networking genius competition. And now I'm kindly inviting Mr. Joe and Ms. Milena Budimirovic to announce the winners and to give their prize. Please.
It's a great honor to represent Huawei. First of all, I would like to thank you, WCO committee, and also thank you to the host of the Azerbaijan. This is we really do enjoy a lot. So here, I would like to give the, our gift prize to our great guest here. So I will give the name. The first one is Alex Bondarenko from Moscow. Okay. The second, Jan Forit from the customers of Czech Republic. Nirima Pamlati from the Global E-Trade Service. And Frank Kaya Vat. Well, I think my pronunciation is right. It's from Microsoft.
Thank you, please. Yeah, of course. So, before inviting Ms. Milena Budimirovic to a microphone for closing remarks, I would like to express my gratitude to all the delegates for their active involvement and contribution to the success of the conference. Can I ask you a round of applause for all of us? We have done a great job. Thank you. And now, Ms. Milena, the stage is yours. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much, Saida. We're finally at the end of this three-day journey. For us in the WCO team and the host team, it's actually a one-year journey. As soon as this conference is over, we will very slowly start to prepare already the conference for next year. I would just like to give a few statistics and to then give the word of thanks to all those that have contributed to this event. First of all, we had around 900 registered participants to the conference from around 90 countries. We had 85 speakers who participated in 14 keynote speeches, 5 plenary sessions, 4 streams, and 16 tech talks. We had speakers from all over the world, from both the private sector, from customs administrations, from governments more broadly, from academia and international organizations. We had a lot of also ex-WCO officers that are now working also in the private sector and other stakeholders. So that was very much a pleasure also from my side. I would like to use this opportunity to say that in terms of gender equality, we weren't champions this time, I'm afraid, but we will try to improve that for next year for sure. I would also like to say that the presentations, this is something that already a few people have asked. The presentations will be available at our website next week most probably, and already the recordings are available on the YouTube channel, WCO channel on YouTube. So you can already find them and Google them there. We are very much interested in the views of our delegates at these conferences in terms of how and what we would like to address in the next conference. So, and here I'm thinking not only about the governments and the customs administrations, but also the private sector, who is a huge contributor to this event. So we would like to kindly invite you to address us and to talk to us in terms of what are the topics that you would like to hear about more for the next IT conference. So please do that. Now, in terms of thanks, we would like to thank firstly, so on behalf of the World Customs Organization altogether, to thank the State Customs Committee of Azerbaijan for the tremendous work and efforts and time, resources that was invested into this conference. And we are really, really grateful for that, especially having in mind that it was not only this conference that was held this week. We had 2 more meetings that were held on Monday and Tuesday, 2 IT-related events. So really a huge word of thanks for all. So we were supported in terms of organization in all ways with the support with the high-level speakers. We were happy to have the Prime Minister here as well, and of course for the warm hospitality and welcome to this beautiful city of Baku. We were also very happy that the social events were fantastic. I enjoyed mostly the singing last night. I thought it was really spectacular, really good experience. And now I would like to actually name some of the people that we worked most closely with, we are very grateful to, starting from Iqbal, Anar, Jehun, Dilavar, Pervana, Kamran, and of course the many volunteers that were there all around us, and the students that are here with us in the room. I would also like to thank the State Customs Committee and Saida for really chairing in a very nice manner this conference. We really enjoyed that very much. I would like to thank the Korea Customs Service for supporting this event and for supporting a few of the events of the conferences in the past. And again, the sponsors, without who this would really not be possible. So we had 31 sponsors and exhibitors this year, and I would like to thank them all very much, and especially the corporate sponsor, S2 Global, Rapiscan, ASNE. Amongst the organizers, we worked very closely with the Caspian Events Organizers team led by Bahruz, with the Haydar Aliyev Center team led by Ali. Of course, another thanks to the interpreters. They're always very patient with us, especially when we are running out of time and not providing them with the support material, but they were very good to us this week. And last but not least, I would like to thank the excellent team that I worked with, the WCO team, amongst which we had some new people, so they were working on the conference for the first time. Nevertheless, they were really excellent and very productive, so I would like to thank Viara, Lazat, Ludovic, Natasha, Stephanie, Lor, Tejo, Dashkin, and Dimitrios. So a big thanks to all of them. And now the time that you were, or the event that you were waiting for, probably most of you already know where the next ITTI conference will be held, but for some of you it might still be a little bit of a secret, so I would like to use this opportunity to invite the hosts of the next ITTI conference to announce it.
Thank you very much. Honorable guests, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of Indonesia Customs, I would like to thank the WCO for inviting us to this fruitful conference and congratulations for the successful event. Taking this opportunity, I would also like to express my highest appreciation to the government of Republic of Azerbaijan, especially for Azerbaijan Custom, as the host who has done an outstanding job in organizing this conference. I believe that those people organizing future events will have the struggle to match the overall quality of this year's conference. I once again thank the Azerbaijan Custom for their kind hospitality. We are fortunate to stay in this wonderful city, and I personally enjoyed it very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to be here to announce that in collaboration with the WCO, Indonesia Custom will host the 2020 WCO Technology Conference in Bali, Indonesia. I am telling you that you don't want to miss it, because you will have the chance to explore the latest development in technological innovation and IT solutions, while enjoying Indonesian exotic nature and enchanting culture. To further convince you, let's listen to what our finance minister says through this video.
Located between the continents of Asia and Australia, and between the Indian and Pacific Ocean, Indonesia is the largest archipelagic country in the world, consisting of 17,504 islands. Because of its geographical and geological history, Indonesia is blessed with mega diverse fauna and flora, with a high number of endemic and ecological highly adapted species. Indonesia also offers you a fairy tale-like landscape, from azure seas, pristine jungle to volcanoes. Having its capital in Jakarta, Indonesia became the fourth most populous country in the world, with a total population of nearly 270 million. As a diverse country, Indonesia is home to more than 700 different ethnic groups, 1,000 of local languages, and numerous religions. With the nation motto, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, or unity in diversity, we live in harmony among tribes, religions, and race. I am Sri Mulyani Indrawati, the Minister of Finance of Republic of Indonesia. I would like to invite you to come and enjoy the wonderful Indonesia, as well as exploring the benefit of the 2020 WCO Technology Conference that will take place in Bali, known as the Land of Gods. Bali appeals through its exotic temple and palaces. It's set against stunning natural backdrop. The local festivals and art are enough to captivate you into a never leaving this magical island. I would like to welcome you to Bali, Indonesia in 2020.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to bring your colleagues, your friend, your family to enjoy the perfect combination of business and leisure. See you in Bali in 2020. Sampai jumpa. Selamat datang. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danny, for announcing the venue of the next conference. And I'm sure all of you are excited, especially those that will be going to the next year's conference. Lastly, last but not least, I would like to invite the Deputy Chairman of the State Customs Committee, Mr. Iqbal Babayev, to do his closing remarks.
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is conclusion slot of the WCIT Technology Conference and Exhibition. But this is official ceremony. I have to speak in official language, Azerbaijan language. Please use headset. Hörmətli qonaqlar, hörmətli tədbir iştirakçıları, Azərbaycan Respublikasının Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsinin sədri cənab Səfər Meytev hal-hazırda parlamentdə Azərbaycan Respublikasının dövlət büdcəsinin müzakirəsində dəvət olduğu üçün, iştirak etdiyi üçün bizim tədbirdə iştirak edə bilmədi və sizə öz salamlarını çatdırmaq üçün mən o fürsətdən istifadə edəcəm.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear conference participants, Mr. Safar Mehdiyev, the chairman of the State Customs Committee of the Republic of Azerbaijan, is, as we speak, at the Parliament of Azerbaijan, involved in discussions of the state budget, so therefore he delegated this honor of closing the ceremony, closing the conference to me.
Hər bir layihənin sonu olduğu kimi biz bu günləri də bu Azərbaycanda keçirilən IT konferansın son məqamını qeyd edirik.
Everything comes to an end and so has this IT conference as well.
Hər bir inkişaf təbii ki inkişafın başlanğıcı və uğuru İlk növbədə bizim beynimizdən başlamalıdır.
So the success of any development, the success of any initiative really relies on how we perceive it, on how we see it in our minds.
Bizim bu arada toplaşmağımız bir daha göstərdi ki, artıq bizim beynimizdə bu inqilab baş vermişdir.
I think the fact that we're all gathered here is testament that this revolution has already happened in our minds.
Biz artıq sizinlə bir yerdə gömrük xidmətini tam başqa bir istiqamətdə görmək üçün və bir araya gəlmək üçün buraya yığışmışıq.
We are here to basically make sure that the customs, operations are directed in a completely new direction.
Və bu tədbir çərçivəsində biz çoxlu görüşlər keçirdik, bir-birimizlə tanış olduq, çoxlu ideyalara sahib olduq, təcrübə mübadiləsi, bilik mübadiləsi aparmaqla biz daha da yaxınlaşdıq.
This conference involved a lot of discussions, a lot of networking, a lot of sharing of ideas and experiences which basically have served to benefit us all.
Məsələn, Azərbaycan Respublikasının Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsi 3 ölkə ilə da görüş keçirmiş, bir beynəlxalq təşkilat ilə, 3 beynəlxalq şirkət ilə, IBM Marisk şirkəti ilə blockchain texnologiyasının platformasından istifadə üçün Azərbaycan Gömrük Komitəsi protokol imzalamış və 8 sərgi iştirakçıları ilə müqavilə bağlanmışdır.
For instance, the State Customs Committee of Azerbaijan has had meetings with three different countries, with one international organization, one international company. We signed a protocol of understanding, we signed a protocol of cooperation with IBM Miles for using blockchain technology, and we also have signed agreements or memorandums of understanding with 8 exhibitors here at the Expo.
Və bu səbəbdən Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsinin sədri adından bu bizi bir araya toplayıb burada Azərbaycanda, Bakıda, Bakı şəhərində bu konferansın təşkil etdiyinə görə Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının rəhbərliyinə və Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının bu komandasına dərin minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk.
So in this view, on behalf of the chairman of the State Customs Committee of the Republic of Azerbaijan, we would all like to express our deepest gratitude to the WCO leadership and the WCO team for organizing and providing this tremendous input into helping make sure that this conference happens and materializes in Baku.
Və bu səbəbdən icazənizlə biz Azərbaycan Respublikasının Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsinin sədrinin sərəncamı ilə bu komandanın üzvlərinə müəyyən mükafatlar, təltiflər olunmuşdur. Onu mən cənab sədrin adından təqdim edim.
So, if you don't mind, what I would like to do now, the chairman of the State Customs Committee has ordered that we distribute certain prizes and gifts to the members of that team, and this is exactly what I would like to do now.
Bu komanda eyni zamanda Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının IT və Texnoloji İnnovasiyalar konferansından başqa qeyri-intruziv yoxlama texniki ekspertlər qrupunun iclasını və data model regional seminarının təşkili və eyni zamanda IT konferansı təşkilinə görə aşağıdakı təltiflər olunmuşdur.
So members of this team are being awarded the following prizes that I will not now name, for not only helping put together this WCO ITTI conference, but also for their help in organizing the workshop for the technical expert groups for non-intrusive inspections and the data model regional seminar.
Gömrük əməkdaşlığının möhkəmləndirilməsinə görə döş nişanı ilə təltif edilir. Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının ticarətin asanlaşdırılması, uyğunluq direktoratlığın direktor müavini vəzifəsini icra edən Milena Budimoroviç.
For the medal for strengthening customs cooperation, Mrs. Milena Budimirovic, the acting deputy director of the WCO Trade Facilitation and Compliance Directorate.
For you. Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının kommunikasiya, tədbirlər və strateji planlaşdırma bölməsinin rəhbəri Ludovik Tanay.
Mr. Ludovic Tanay, the head of the WCO Communication, Action and Strategic Planning Department.
Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının ticarətin asanlaşdırılması və uyğunluq direktorunun texniki ataşesi Viara Filippova.
Mrs. Viara Filippova, Technical Attaché of the WCO Trade Facilitation and Compliance Directorate.
Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatı tədbirlər üzrə koordinatoru Natasha Grichevskaya.
Mrs. Natasha Grichevska, WCO Actions or Events Coordinator.
Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsinin xüsusi hədiyyələri ilə Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının ticarətin asanlaşdırması uyğunluq direktorunun texniki ofiseri Tejo Kusuma.
Special State Customs Committee special consideration prizes. Mr. Tejo Kusuma, Technical Officer of the WCO Trade Facilitation and Compliance Directorate.
Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının Xarici Əlaqələr Bölməsinin əməkdaşı Stephanie Tuson.
Mrs. Stephanie Tuson, WCO Foreign Relations Department.
Gömrük Təşkilatının Akademiyası layihəsinin müştərilərlə iş üzrə koordinatoru Dimitris Politopoulos.
Mr. Dimitrios Politopoulos, WCO Academy Project Customer Management Coordinator.
Ümumdünya Gömrük Təşkilatının ticarətin asanlaşdırması və uyğunluq direktorluğunun professional vəzifəsinin icraçısı Ləzzət Daniyarova.
Mrs. Ləzzət Daniyarova, Professional Associate at the WTO Trade Facilitation and Compliance Directorate.
Hal-hazırda Heydər Əliyev Mərkəzinə böyük minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk. Cənab Sədr tərəfindən Heydər Əliyev Mərkəzi bizim bu tədbiri yüksək səviyyədə təşkil etdiyinə görə minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk və bu mərkəzin rəhbərliyinə kiçik hədiyyəmizi təqdim etmək istəyirik.
On behalf of us all, and in particular the Chairman of the State Customs Committee, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to the team of the Heydər Əliyev Center where we are now. And on behalf of the State Customs Committee, we would like to bestow upon them this small gift as a token of our appreciation of the excellent work that they have done.
Bu tədbirdə bizi texniki dəstək olduğuna görə və yüksək səviyyədə tədbirimizi başa vurduğunuza görə Caspian Event Organizers komandasına, xüsusən Bəhruz müəllimə minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk.
We would like to express our gratitude to Caspian Event Organizers and Mr. Bahruz in particular for this high level of the technical support that they've provided throughout this 3 days proceedings.
Və bir daha bizə həyatla necə mürəkkəb hallarda necə mübarizə aparmağı və möhkəm iradəyə malik olmağı bizə bir daha sübut edən Paralimpiya çempionu İlham Zəkini təbrik edirik və ona dəvət edirik.
To compliment and congratulate Mr. İlham Zakiyev, the Paralympic judo champion, and a testament of what human perseverance and endurance is.
gedə bilərsiniz. Oradan yəni düşə bilər. Amma baxın, ehtiyatlı. Bizim bu tədbiri Azərbaycan və beynəlxalq ictimaiyyətə çatdırılmağında medianın böyük rolu vardır. Və biz demək olar ki, bu 3 gün Azərbaycan televiziyası, kanalları və media, sosial media yalnız bizim tədbir haqqında çoxlu materiallar vermişdir. Və icazənizlə Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsi adından Azərbaycan televiziyasını, ictimai televiziyanı, ARB kanalını və Report agentliyini dəvət edək və Dövlət Gömrük Komitəsinin hədiyyəsini çatdıraq.
Media has played a key role in making sure that all of Azerbaijan and all of the world recognize and find out about this event. And for the last 3 days, the news reports, the media reports, and social media reports were mostly focused on our conference. In that regard, I would like to invite representatives from the Azerbaijani State National Television, Public Television, ARB TV channel, and Report News Agency.
Hər bir çıxış və sessiyadan sonra təbii ki, çoxlu müzakirələr olurdu və terminologiyalar insanı çox yorurdu və təbii ki, biz səbirsizliklə hər sessiyadan sonra bu tribunaya gözəl xanımı və bizim tədbirimizi çox gözəl axıra kimi aparan Səidə Şəfiyevaya minnətdarlığımızı bildiririk.
So this conference involved a lot of discussions that involved in turn a lot of terminologies. So after each plenary session that was in fact sometimes exhausting and tiring, we'd love to see Mrs. Saida Shafiyeva, a lovely host of the event. Thank you very much.
Və üç tərəf qaldı. Təşəkkürlər. Bunların biri sizsiz. Bilirsiniz, biz burada Heydər Əliyev mərkəzində heç də təsadüfi toplaşmamışıq.
So there's only three parties that are left to thank in my mention in my thanks, and one of them is you. You know, it's not a coincidence that we're all gathered here at the Heydər Əliyev Center.
Heydər Əliyev mərkəzi dünyanın ən yaxşı memar əsərlərindən biridir və onun fəlsəfəsi haqqında mən biraz öyrəndim, oxudum burada və istərəm onun bir kəlməsini sizə çatdıram.
Heydər Əliyev Center is one of the most beautiful and outstanding architectural landmarks in the world, and I read up in the run-up to this closure, I read up on the philosophy that behind the architecture, and I would like to share a few points about it with you.
Heydər Əliyev mərkəzinin memarının fəlsəfəsində yazılıb ki, burada düz xətlərdən istifadə olunmamışdır.
So the architectural philosophy of this Heydər Əliyev Center posited that there would be no straight lines used in the architecture, in the design of this building.
Burada divarların dalğavari olması yerlə səmanı doğru və harmonik görünüşünü formalaşdırır.
So the wavy shape of the walls representing basically the convergence of the sea and the earth basically provides a very accurate and harmonic view and perspective.
Və buradakı bütün xətlər keçmişlə gələcəyi bir-birinə bağlayır.
All of the lines here also represent a convergence between the past and the future, a connection.
Və memarlıq əsərinin ağ rəngdə olması gələcəyimizin parlaq simvolu kimi göstərilmişdir.
And the white exterior and in parts the interior of the building symbolizes our bright future.
Mən sizə gələcək parlaq və sonsuzluq əlamətin, yəni sonsuzluq fəlsəfəsinin simvolu olan uğurlar arzulayıram və keçmişi unutmamaqla gələcəyimizə həmişə ağ parlaq gələcək arzu edirəm.
I wish all of you and all of us a bright future and an infinity of success. So looking back at the past, we need to make sure that future is always bright.
Çox sağ olun və Azərbaycan və Bakı şəhəri və digər rayonlarımız sizin üçün həmişə xoş olar və şərəf duyarıq ki, bundan sonra da Azərbaycana həmişə xoş gəldim deyək sizə.
Thank you very much. All of Azerbaijan, Baku and all of its regions will always be welcome and open to you. Thank you very much.
İkinci tərəf, mən hamının adından istərdim bizim tərcüməçilərə minnətdarlığımızı bildirəm. Çox sağ olun. Siz çox böyük əziyyət və zəhmət çəkdiniz.
The other group that I would like to give a special thank you is our interpreters. Thank you very much for your hard work and support. You're welcome.
Və sonda bizə çox böyük kömək edən, bizim gələcəyimiz, parlaq gələcəyimiz olan könüllü gömrükçüləri mən bu səhnəyə dəvət edirəm. Gəlin
I would also like to invite our customs volunteers, our future in fact. Please come onto the stage.
Durun orada, durun. Biraz cəld olun, biraz cəld olun. Mən sizi xahiş edirəm, könüllü gömrükçülər dəstəsinə bizə yardım olduqlarına görə aeroportda, oteldə, konferansın təşkilatçılığında hər yerdə könüllülər bizə yardım olduğu bu gənclərə xoş günlər, gələcəkdə uğurlar və onlara alqışlayaq.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to our customs volunteers who have always been there and supported us throughout this journey at the airport, at the hotels and at this conference. Thank you very much.
Bir daha hər birinizə minnətdarıq və təşəkkür edirik. Sağ olun.
Thank each and every one of you. Thank you and goodbye.